Hello, everybody. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk Healing, our monthly Tuesday night live. I see you guys coming on in on Instagram. I see you. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a while since we've been together. Good to see you. Let's see what's going on in Facebook world. How is everybody doing this evening? So excited. Hey. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you being live here. Again, welcome to Let's Talk Healing, our monthly Tuesday night live. Happy New Year. Hey, Rolisa. Happy New Year. It has been a while since I saw you guys. I haven't seen you since last year, actually. So I want to invite you, as you feel comfortable, invite you, if you're able to, share the broadcast or tag somebody, let them know that the Grief Doc is on tonight. Save this broadcast because I believe there's going to be some information that's going to be shared tonight that I believe that will be helpful to you in the future. If not to you, then it's going to be helpful to somebody else. Okay. So if this is your very first time being with me on a live, would you put a 1 in the chat? I want to acknowledge you, to appreciate you for tuning in with me. And if you have been with me before, you know what I call you, a FF, frequent flyer. I see some frequent flyers in here. Hey, Miss Viola, glad that you're watching. Hey, my cookie. Good evening. Good evening, Miss Barbara. Good evening to each of you. So excited that you are here with me tonight. It has been a while. Hello, my friend Jackie, frequent flyer. So glad that you guys are on. So I just wanted to hop on for our monthly, again, our very first time. This is what we used to do last year, every Tuesday. So now we're doing it once a month. Welcome. Is that Lucretia, LACRE 712022? Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. So allow me to introduce myself to those of you who don't know who I am, and to those of you who do know who I am. I am Dr. Tonya Cunningham. I am your grief doctor and your transitional life coach who's on a transformative journey in achieving holistic well-being, meaning taking care of my spirit, my soul, and my body. And I'm endeavoring to help you do the same. So I have been in the death care industry for 35 years. That has afforded me the opportunity to be able to accompany hundreds upon thousands of people on their healing journey. And as a result of that, I recognized that most people, in particular people of color, we do not understand the impact of grief on our well-being. So as an international speaker, as an author, as a transitional life coach, I am passionate about helping other people really transition through that and process through hurt and pain, especially, listen to this, middle-aged people like me. Yes, middle-aged people like me. Listen, we can thrive. We can thrive in life. We can definitely thrive in our grief. So tonight's topic is understanding the link between grief, blood pressure, and kidney health. Understanding, right? We got to understand it. That's what I help people do. I help them understand about grief. This is a subject that has been taboo up until 2020 when the pandemic came in and turned our world upside down. And it forced us as a world to really look at grief. So now this is a hot topic. It's a buzzword that many people are talking about their grief. And I'm so glad that they are, because guess what? It is detrimental. It is detrimental to your health if you don't gain an understanding. So we're going to understand the link between grief, high blood pressure, and your kidney health. So those of you, again, who have followed me, you understand what grief is, right? What is it? It is an internal, natural, emotional response to loss. It is normal to grieve. So when you go through a loss of any kind, guess what? It's normal to grieve. That's why I hop on here to let you know that we want to normalize this topic called grief. Now, what I want you to understand that grief can definitely have profound effects on your emotional well-being, and guess what? Your physical well-being. That's what we're going to put emphasis on tonight. Grief can have a profound effect, we know, on your emotional and your mental well-being, but also your physical well-being. So while the emotional toll of grief is generally widely acknowledged in our world today, however, grief's impact on our physiological processes, such as our blood pressure, our kidney functions, and other parts of our lives, guess what? We don't talk about that much, right? We don't talk about how grief is impacting your body. So that's why I'm here to let you know we don't talk about how it's going to impact your kidney functions. It's less commonly discussed in our world today. So I know now more than I have ever known before, based upon what I just experienced with my own recent losses. Okay. I know now the powerful interconnectedness of the mind, which is a part of the soul, the body, and the spirit in times of loss. In times of loss, I now understand again the interconnectedness of the mind and the body in times of loss. So they're one. Your mind and your body are not two different entities, they are one within your body. Okay, so grief is certainly a complex emotional experience for all of us who experience it, and it's characterized by a plethora of emotions, right? If you think about your grief and when you went through it, there was just a gamut of emotions: anger, sadness. Some of you felt joy from time to time as you remembered your loved one. It's just a spectrum of emotions. But guess what? You should not ignore those emotions. You should not ignore those emotions. Research has shown that grief can trigger physiological changes in your body. Some of you may have heard of the word somatic changes. So when you hear somatic, that means your body is going through changes. So for the person that says when they're going through grief, I'm good, I'm fine, nothing's going on, guess what? Something is going on in your body. Something is going on in your body. Okay. And this is what can cause your blood pressure. And I'm just using that topic tonight. Later on throughout the year, we'll use different topics, but I'm talking about blood pressure in particular tonight. So grief, again, it never ends and it changes, right? You've heard me teach that. Grief is what happens on the inside. Mourning is what happens on the outside of you. And guess what? Grief never ends, but it does change and it does soften as you do the work. So in our grief world, I think I saw my mentee on here. Yes, Tammy Dozier. Yes, we teach again. There are different timelines when it comes to grief, or different types of grief. Okay. So some of you may be experiencing what is called anticipatory grief. Anticipatory grief is the grief you experience before a person physically dies. Then you move into what is called acute grief. Can somebody put those in the chat for me? You have anticipatory grief, and then the next one is going to be acute grief. So when something is acute, we know that they need care. Acute grief is when your loved one dies. Okay? When your loved one dies, guess what? You are experiencing what we call acute grief. And then after that, you move into what is called early grief. That's the first 2 years of your grief journey, early grief. And then after the first 2 years, guess what? You move into what is called mature grief. Okay? You move into mature grief. So we've got anticipatory grief, we've got acute grief, then you move into early grief, and then you move into mature grief. So let me just give you an example of my losses, my mentor, Dr. Gregory Spencer, was murdered the year that I got married. Okay. I'm in mature grief with him. I'm cool with that. My baby died the very next year after him, Chelsea. I'm in mature grief with her. She died in 2004. I'm good with that. Mature grief. My parents died. I'm in mature grief with them. And then after that, I had several cousins to die and some friends to die during the pandemic. I lost a friendship. I'm in mature grief with that as well. And guess what? Yes, even the divorce that I thought was going to take me out of here, I'm in mature grief with that. Now I feel like running in this room. It took me a while to get there as it relates to the divorce, but I'm in mature grief when it comes to that. But my most recent losses that I had in December, like my god sister and my two cousins and my godmother, I'm in acute grief. I'm in acute grief now. Okay. My godmother was the last one, a funeral that I attended. So you have to know where you are in your grief journey. So during periods of, listen to this, acute grief, individuals may experience heightened sympathetic nervous system activity, meaning something is going on in your body, leading to an increase of your heart rate. Okay, so think about it when your loved one died. You got a phone call, whatever it was, you were present when they were there. Okay, your heart rate, it increased, and guess what? Your blood pressure did too. So this physiological response often is referred to, you've heard it before, you can go ahead and put it in the chat, the fight or flight. Fight or flight. We're familiar with that, right? It's the fight or the flight. So if I were to back you up in a corner, you're going to come out one of two ways. You're going to come out fighting, or you're going to flight, or you're going to run, which is anxiety or fear. Now, this is the body's natural, normal response, the fight or flight. That's normal. But here's where it becomes a problem for us. Our body was not designed to stay in that state. Okay? So we need that fight or flight response because it's going to help us respond to a perceived threat. So a lot of you, like me, I discovered, even I wasn't processing my grief well as I thought I was. Okay? So a lot of you have been living in the fight or flight mode for years, and I do mean years, that your body thinks that that's how you're supposed to live. It's like the light is always on. The light is never off. Like this. We should be able to turn the light off, turn our thoughts off from time to time. But guess what? Especially in grief, we're not able to do that. We're not able to do that. So your body thinks, oh, this is normal. So it kicks on a switch in your brain and makes you stay on. And that means that cortisol is constantly being released into your bloodstream. And you're responding to stress, and it's causing your blood pressure to elevate. So that's known as cortisol. Can y'all put that in the chat? We know that. That's the stress hormone. It plays a crucial role in mobilizing the body's response to cope with threats. Okay? So again, it's a good thing. However, we got to know how to deal with our stress. We have to know how to deal with our stress. Why? Because our bodies were not designed to house an abundance of cortisol. It was not designed to do that. So this is where the problem comes in the aftermath of loss. In the aftermath, when you lose someone, individuals may experience what we call a surge of cortisol, your levels. It's a surge that you're going to experience. Okay? So, however, prolonged periods of this surge or unresolved grief or issues in your life can contribute to chronic elevation or suppression of your cortisol levels, depending upon how you cope. Okay? Depending upon if you oppress a person that suppresses everything, depending upon if you're a person that you don't deal with things, will determine how your blood pressure is going to respond. So here's about me. I thought I was doing okay in December when my god sister died and all of these other people died. I thought I was doing okay because I was crying. I would think about her. I would think about them. and I would cry. I would allow myself to cry, and I was journaling, and I was expressing my anger, and I was doing all of these things that I had been taught to do. Okay? But here's what I didn't know, that I was not doing very well. I did not give my body time to rest and recuperate from the emotional and physical trauma of those losses. I did not allow myself to recuperate. Something else I discovered through my therapist and my doctors and all of that is that this just didn't start in December when my loved ones died here recently. This comes from years of working under pressure. Is that you? Are you the person that says, I work best under pressure? That's why I wait until the last minute to meet the deadlines. Why? Because I work best under pressure. Well, let me tell you tonight that working under that pressure could possibly be harming you physically. Harming you physically. So that was me. Okay? So persistent hypertension, those of you who are dealing with hypertension, high blood pressure, it's unhealthy because it impacts other systems in your body. It impacts other systems in your body. Okay? So don't be the person that just takes the high blood pressure pill and you don't do any other changes in your life to address your high blood pressure. Y'all listen to me. Listen to me. So when the blood pressure is consistently high, Tammy Dozier, when the blood pressure is consistently high, guess what? It can damage your kidneys. It can damage the delicate blood vessels within the kidneys, impairing their ability to effectively filter waste. We need our kidneys. We need them. Why? Because they filter out the toxins. They filter out the junk that we put in our bodies. You need your kidneys. Okay? So when your kidneys are not functioning properly, guess what? You can experience what is called chronic kidney disease. I never paid any attention to that. Chronic kidney disease, all right? Over a gradual period of time, your kidneys will, the functioning of them. And it all starts with stress and grief. Okay? So many of you notice my absence from social media, and I thank you, those of you who have checked out, those of you who have my cell phone, you have texted me, you have messaged me, you have emailed me, you have sent pigeons with messages, you have sent food. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you doing that. Behind the scenes, it's been a rough 2 years for you, girl. So never judge a person by what you see on social media. You don't have, we present what we want you to see. I put on this lipstick because I wanted you to see it. Before that, I didn't have on any lipstick. So never judge a person by what you see, because you have no clue what they're dealing with behind the scenes. So I'd been really struggling with some health issues, but guess what I kept doing, which is what we do. You keep on pushing, right? You ignore your health. You ignore what your body is saying to you, and you keep on pushing. Okay? So I was experiencing an enormous amount of stress. The type of work that I do, my doctors, my mentors, my therapists have helped me understand you don't have a regular 9 to 5. You help pull people out of the pit of hell. You help people when they're in dire calamity. Okay? Don't you know that that's impacting your body? I said, well, I knew it did, but I thought I was taking care of myself. I wasn't. Okay? So this last quarter, when my goddaughter, my god sister and mom and all my cousins died, it was eye-opening, because guess what it did? It magnified some things for me. it magnified some things that was already there. So you've heard me do some teaching. Whatever is undealt with, it is going to come to the surface when you have a current loss. That's what it did for me. What was under the surface for me was that blood pressure, that elevated blood pressure. And I did not realize that I was not managing my stress and my grief well. So my body just started talking to me in a way that it had never spoken to me before. Okay? So those of you who follow me, you've seen that I've been in the ER a couple of times. I went to the ER last month, and I went, I think maybe back in September. That was due to blood pressure. Okay? I was experiencing lightheadedness. I was dealing with chronic fatigue. And remember, in December, my live was about mercury poisoning. So I was dealing with that too because I had metal fillings in my mouth. Your girl had a lot going on over here. Okay? A lot going on. So what's my synopsis tonight? What do I want you to know? Is my consistent elevated blood pressure was already present in my life. What's already present in your life that you have not addressed, my sister, my brother? Now is the time to deal with that. Okay? Now is the time to deal with that. Unresolved grief, unforgiveness, whatever it is that you're dealing with, now is the time to deal with that. So, my consistent elevated blood pressure was already present in my life. I experienced grief and trauma, because not all grief is trauma, but I experienced both of those in December, and it brought that to the surface. Okay, so that's why you haven't seen me on social media, because my therapist put me on lockdown. Right? My therapist said if you were working for an employer, I'd put you on the FMLA. That's how bad it was. So I couldn't go on the FMLA. We had to be creative because I work for myself. I work for the Lord. I work for him. He has me working for him. So I couldn't go on the traditional FMLA. So he put me on 21-day sabbatical. I could only see my clients and I could only do my speaking engagements. That was it. I couldn't go to another hospital visit. I couldn't go to another funeral. I couldn't listen to anybody else's stuff. Nobody could vent, dump, none of that. For at least 21 days. I couldn't even go to church. He shut me down from that. Don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger. He helped me understand because, see, in church, I am an active participant in worship. I leave church sometimes tired because I give God all. Truth is, that's me across the board. I give him all. Like even on this live, I'm giving you my all. Okay? So my therapist said, he said, do you know how much virtue leaves when you even give God worship? Do you know how much virtue leaves even when you preach and teach? And if you know me, I go hard when I preach. That's just how God uses me. And when I finish, I would be so drained. I see why now. I didn't realize that I was exerting so much energy. So over the years, I have not given myself and my body time to recuperate, to recover. To the saints of the Most High God, do you know that rest is a spiritual principle? We got to slow down. Okay? We have to slow down. Jesus himself slowed down from time to time. He'd find himself secluded in a place to where he could really be restored. All right? So let me jumpstart your healing. What I want you to know. How do you jumpstart your recovery when you're dealing with high blood pressure? So your kidneys now. What I'm dealing with is reversible. Why? Because I'm making a lifestyle change. People say they want change. Oh, yeah. People say they want the grief to stop, but they're not willing to go get help. They're not willing to talk about it. They're not willing to cry. People say, I want to lose weight, but we're not willing to do the work. That was me. Those of y'all knew about. I've known that I was allergic to gluten for 5 years. I learned that actually during the pandemic, 4 years. But guess what I kept doing? I kept eating gluten. That's called disobedience. So we're praying for God to heal us. Oh, but we're still doing those things that are disobedient. So this last episode, it woke me up. Guess what? I'm gluten-free because I want to feel better. So when my therapist put me on shutdown, say you can't go to no funerals, you can't go to the hospital to see nobody. I said, well, I'm not doing nothing when I go. I'm just praying for the people and I'm sitting there. He said, do you know you're activating your trauma responses when you go to the hospital and you hear all of those machines going off? I didn't know that I was traumatized by that. So guess what? My brother-in-law was in the hospital last weekend. I said, God, you really, you really getting ready to see if I mean business about a lifestyle change. Guess what? I couldn't go see him. So when my sister called to check on me and she was at the bedside of her husband's hospital bed, I could hear the beeps of the machines in his room going off. And it shocked me because it reminded me of a god sister. It reminded me of another dear friend who's in the hospital. It's a trigger. That's what you said, Viv. I was being triggered. So that's why I couldn't go to the hospital. So that was a hard decision. Are you willing to make the hard decisions you need to make the lifestyle change? I had to choose. Am I going to go to the hospital, go against the doctor's advice, go against what my therapist recommended? I said, no, I want to live. I'm not going. And guess what, y'all? We had another cousin to die. Yeah, we had another cousin to die. His funeral was this past Saturday. I had a choice. Am I going to go to my cousin's funeral? Or am I going to stay home and rest like my doctors and therapists recommended? Guess what I did? Ask me what I did. Ask me what I did. I'm going to wait. Somebody put it in the chat. Ask me what you did. What'd you do, Dr. T? Ask me. I'm going to wait for somebody to put it in the chat. Ask me, what did I do? Felicia, I stayed at home. I didn't go to my cousin's funeral. I didn't go to my cousin's funeral, Viv, Marie, Cheryl, Rhonda. I stayed home. Why? Stephanie, Charlene, Donna, I stayed home. Why? Because I want to live. So are you willing to do what it takes to work through your grief, to make the lifestyle changes? Okay? 4 things that I'm out. How to jumpstart your recovery to live in optimal health when it comes to your grief. Number 1, you got to be willing to change your lifestyle. Like gluten-free. This is your girl. Yep, I have to go to restaurants now and ask, do you have gluten-free on your menu? I have to figure it out if I want to feel better. So you got to be willing to change your lifestyle. Because see, this is what's wrong with some of us. We don't want to change nothing. We like what we like, how we like it, when we like it. Don't come in here changing stuff. Prepare to stay the same. Prepare for your 2024 to look like your 2023. If you're not going to change. You got to be willing. Number 2, you got to deal with your grief. You've heard me say that time and time again, right? If you don't deal with your grief, it's going to deal with you. Guess what? My grief was dealing with me. And I didn't even know it. It was dealing with my blood pressure. Yes. Number 3, you got to build your wellness team. Hi, Rhonda. I see your statement. There are a lot of people say that sometimes you have to be selfish about yourself and make you a priority. And I certainly understand the concept from what you're saying. However, I put a spin on it. I don't think it's selfish. I call it being self-full. It's not. I don't think it's selfish to care for you. Right? We're not talking about being a narcissist. That's being selfish. Y'all know what a narcissist is, right? Only concerned about them. So, number one, you got to be willing to change your lifestyle. Number two, you got to deal with your grief over whatever you lost. Number three, you got to build your wellness team. Build it. Okay? On my wellness team, I got my therapist, my PCP, and a holistic doctor. I got them both because I'm comparing, and Jesus is the ultimate doctor over all of them. But I'm listening to what the traditional medicine doctor will say. Then I'm listening to the holistic. That's the route that I'm following. Holistic living. Okay? So I got my therapist, my PCP, my holistic doctor, my masseuse. I got a chiropractor. I got an ophthalmologist. My dentist. You heard me talk about that. I think we did in December, the importance of taking care of your mouth. I got my hormonal doctor. I got my family, my friends, my support. You have to build your team here on earth. And we know ultimately, again, God is our strong tower. We can run in there and be safe. Okay? And then lastly, number four, you got to practice self-care. How you going to jumpstart your healing this year, 2024, to be different? Number one, you're going to be willing to change your lifestyle. Number two, you're going to deal with your grief. Number three, you're going to build your wellness team. And number four, you're going to practice self-care. Engage in activities, okay, that promote relaxation and stress reduction. One of my mentors, she said, you are not regular. So your rest regimen cannot be regular. So I must pull away often. I must carve that time out. So I hear you, parents, single parents, you married, singles. I don't have time to meal prep. I don't have time. I can't afford to buy I can't afford. Listen, you can't afford not to. For what's coming up this year, hear me by the word of the Lord. What we are about to endure this year spiritually, you can't afford not to take care of your temple. You got to nourish your body. You got to nourish your soul. And yes, you got to nourish your spirit. You got to nourish all three. You got to deal with your spirit, man. You need to develop your relationship with God. That's the spirit part of you. And yes, you got to deal with your soul. That's your emotional makeup, your mind, your will, your emotions. And then you got to deal with your body. All right. So, all right. That's it for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for tagging. I missed y'all. Did y'all miss me? I missed y'all. I really did miss y'all. Can y'all tell I missed you? I really, really did. But I had to be obedient. Obedient to those who have rule over me. And then I had to be obedient to the Holy Spirit to take care of this temple. All right. Thank you so much for tagging. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much again for watching the replay. Those of you that have watched the replay, I will see you next first Tuesday. Next first Tuesday. Hey, Jazzy Red. I'll see you. Hey, mother. So our topic next month is going to be the relationship between our emotions and our organs. Did you know every organ, there's an emotion associated with it? My holistic doctor told me about that. My therapist told me about it too. So my kidneys is what I'm dealing with, right? That's what's healing right now. Guess what emotion is associated with the kidneys? Fear. I said, Lord, I ain't scared of nothing, Elma. Woo! So you have to tune in next month to see what I was fearing. I'm gonna tell you. The kidneys told off on me by way of my blood pressure. Blessings. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care of your blood pressure. Okay? Do the stuff that you need to do. Stop eating all the food that's raising your blood pressure. Go exercise. All right? Because we got work to do. All right? We got people to save. All right. Love y'all. Hey, Bernard. Hey. See y'all. Peace and blessings. I'm back. See you, Bill. See you, Donna. All right. Blessings.